Hey everybody, today the M.2 drive. Awesome performance, not so much on the looks, but I think there's something we can do about that. So today's M.2 drives feature awesome performance, great space savings in a case, but they really don't do much on the look forefront. A lot of times they come with a sticker on them with the model number and the brand name. If you take that sticker off, you wind up with something like this. They're really not much to look at. And even though they usually end up behind a graphics card, you still want them to look kind of nice. So the idea today is to make basically a heat spreader like you'd see on your RAM for an M.2 drive. Very, very simple. You've got a lot of options on finishing it, so let's go ahead and jump into it. This is a very simple mod, and really all it requires as far as materials is a little bit of scrap aluminum. I've got some 2mm, I don't even know what alloy, it doesn't really matter, but 2mm aluminum, and then some thermal adhesive tape, which you can find online usually. Quite a few different places sell something like this. And all we're going to do is basically cut a piece of aluminum that covers the drive and then stick it on. The first thing we want to do is measure out the size of the piece of aluminum we need to cut. So what we need is 22mm across. So we'll mark that down. And then we need our lengthwise measurement, but we want to make sure we stay away from our screw down here where it attaches and also away from where it slides into its slot. So I'm going to go basically from where these components are, because I know they'll be out of the slot, to the end of this chip, because that's going to miss the screw as well. And it really covers most of the drive. So we're going to call that 71. And then we're going to just measure out our aluminum. Hopefully you have a piece that's pretty square. This one I believe has 2 factory edges, so lucky me. 22 inches wide. And 71 long. Now all we've got to do is cut out that piece. Bandsaw, jigsaw, Dremel, handsaw. Next up, we do a little filing on the edges to clean up our cuts. Now that we've got the edges filed down, we're ready to finish this. And this is where you can get creative, because you can do pretty much anything you want to this. I've already gone ahead and done a few, including one for our build, but you can paint it. This is going to be black for our build because we don't want the drive to stand out. So this will keep it covered up, but still looking good. You can sand it and just leave it with a brushed aluminum finish, which is really nice, especially if you've got matching parts. You can get creative with some vinyl and logo the cover. And also I did some airbrushing on this one to give it kind of a frosted edge effect. It went a little crazy, so it ended up actually being frosted all over. But that gives you just a few of the ideas that you can use on these. I mean, the sky's the limit. So let's go ahead and take the one that we've already got ready and painted for our drive and get this thing ready to put together. And all we're going to do is put this thermal tape on the back, stick it on the drive. It's pretty simple. Like I said, this was a really easy mod to do. So we are going to take our thermal adhesive and just apply it. Luckily, this stuff is about exactly the right size. I don't know how I managed that, but I'm glad I did. This is, I believe, 20 millimeter wide tape. So that's just about perfect. And then we need just an X-Acto knife to cut that end off. We can peel our backing. And stick it on the drive. And you want to make sure you stick it on the right side of the drive. You don't want to put this together, put it in your motherboard and realize, oops, I've got it upside down. So I've done this a couple of times with this drive, so I know that this side's up. So we're going to go ahead and slap this on here. Especially if you've got it logoed or something, you definitely want to check to make sure which direction everything sits. So we just slap it on, making sure we keep to where we originally measured, so we're lined up with the chip down here and our components up at the top, and we're just going to press it on. Now we're ready to go. I told you all that was a real easy mod, and with as many options as you have for finishing this piece of aluminum, really it can go with any system. Now I do want to mention something about calling it a heat spreader. I know it probably doesn't add much in the way of heat dissipation just because we're not adding fins and area and all that to it. So I doubt you're going to see much of a performance gain because of something like this. But it does look a lot better, and sometimes that's important. So this is now ready to go into our motherboard, which is going into our Fractal Meshify C, Nvidia GeForce Garage Meshify C. I really need to come up with a name for this. Maybe the GeForce C. I don't know. Let me know what you think down in the comments. And speaking of comments, if you like the video, hit the like button. If you want to know what goes on next with this, hit the subscribe. And if you've got questions or comments, hit that comment section down below. That's what I've got today. So until I see you all next time, get out there and mod something.